Tippy time, my damies, Top Cat here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back inside the Crucible, playing some trials. We're going to be testing out our new Void FOETRACER build on our little hunter here. And this week's trial map, Eternity, is the perfect showcase to show off this helmet and how well it really works. This exotic helmet looks like it was taken right out of the Return of the Jedi. I'm honestly surprised George Lucas or Disney now hasn't sued them yet. But its exotic perk, Relentless Tracker, visually marks targets, deals more damage to low health marked targets, and provides a small benefit to airborne effectiveness of all of your weapons. The tracker on this helmet works really well, particularly when you're having ranged battles, so it works beautifully for like snipers, scout rifles, pulse rifles, anything of this nature. You know, it just allows you to see what the enemy's thoughts are. You see I'm tracking the guy across the screen, I know he's going to peek out over here, and I'm ready to take his head off. It can only track one target at a time, so if there's multiple people up, it's only going to prioritize one of them. The low health aspect of it is good, but it's more so for things that are going to really affect the TK. With the scout rifle, it's not really changing all that much, but when it comes to my little Saurus sidearm that I'm using on this build, it really does help it. But in my opinion, it's the airborne effectiveness stat that's been added to this that's really brought it back from pretty much obscurity. We will be using the Jade Rabbit with this build. Its intrinsic trait, the Fatal Falls, chain body shots to gain bonus damage on your next precision shot and returns ammo to the magazine. Has polygonal, high cal, and Zen moment. The additional damage the Fatal Falls perk gives you is really handy. It does tend to work better in 6s where you get it more often, and this can allow you to get the 2 taps. But what I really like about this is it just gives you the more consistent 3-tap ability, as it will 3-tap crit, but it also allows you to do 2 crit 1 body with this bonus damage when you're hitting your body shots. So it just makes it a little more versatile and allows you to make those mistakes if you do. All in all, it might not be as gimmicky as a lot of other exotic weapons, but with the catalyst and all the stability, the Zen moment, the polygonal rifling, the high cal, it just gives you that level of stability and consistency that a lot of other 150 scout rifles don't have. Additionally, it's got a really nice scope that doesn't obscure the field of play, so you can look at your target nice, and you can also see what's happening around you really nice. For our aspects, I will be using Vanishing Step. Dodging makes you invisible. The reason I like this is if you dodge when you're going into an encounter, they're not going to have as much aim assist on you. They have to shoot you directly. So leading into an encounter when you're invisible just gives you that slight edge to pick them first. I've been using the Marksman dodge. I find this the better dodge on the Void Hunter. The Jade Rabbit only has 10 in the mag, not the best reloads. And I'm also running a kill clip sidearm, so I want to get that kill clip procced as soon as I possibly can. The Void dodge animation was changed, so it doesn't matter which way you go, it's the same animation regardless now. I'm also using the Trapper's Ambush Void aspect. Activate Quick Pull to spend your melee charge, and it'll dive you to the ground and you go invis in a big puff of smoke. If you do this on enemies, they will be weakened, but if you do this on allies, it'll make them invisible as well. This is our second way of going invisible, but you primarily want to use it at the start of the round to make your whole team invisible to give them all the advantage whilst leading into the conflict. The energy weapon I've chosen to pair with the Jade Rabbit is this little sidearm, the Punching Out. It is a Saurus rapid fire frame, so just going to be chucking bullets in people's faces. I've been running mine with moving target, kill clip, flared mag just to get that increase to stability and reload, polygonal again for stability, but this much stability you're going to want a range masterwork, otherwise it really does have not much range at all and you really want to be right up under the grill. I've chosen to run it with a backup mag, as you can kill 2 people with 1 magazine, but you have to get an awful lot of crits in there, and I tend to find with these rapid fires I just like burying rounds into their body. As it is a rapid fire, it can get that body shot TK really quickly, So don't be overly concerned with the headshots, but they do always help, particularly when you're pairing it with the FOETRACER. You can acquire this bad boy from the Vanguard playlist inside of Strikes and Nightfalls, but really you can run any little sidearm or sub with this build. I'm running Echo of Dilation. This void fragment is going to give us plus 10 to intellect and plus 10 to mobility, but what I really like is you just dip your nuts to the floor and then you're going to get an enhanced radar, so you know what's going to happen, and it also allows you to strafe that a little bit cleaner when you're on the ground. The smoke bomb was converted during Void 3.0, so now it does the little tracker when it pings to a surface, and it also weakens. I do love this as you can use it quite tactically. It doesn't have a terrible throw, like it can lunge quite far, but it doesn't have the best speed with that lunge, so it's not like a throwing knife. It has a little bit slower travel time, but it is still very potent, and it does have that weaken effect, so it can help you win a gunfight, particularly when they're slowed with that effect. It just makes them like they're trapped in the mud. I tend to run a decent level of strength on my hunter builds. You know, you get a lot plus 20 from your radiant, which most hunters use, so we tend to get our smoke bombs fairly regularly, and it's great for baiting out grenades, particularly as grenades tend to be more deadly but have a longer cooldown on them. When it comes to super, I'm always going to use the Shadow Shot Deadfall personally over the quiver. The quiver just isn't great at targeting things anymore, as it does the multiple arrows. I don't like it for Crucible personally. I'm using the Echo of Remnants Void Fragment. This is going to make my Void Wall grenades last that much longer. I've gone with the Void Wall grenade primarily for this map. It's either between this one or the Spike grenade, as most of them have a 2-minute cooldown, except for the Axiom Bolt. I think it's like 2:32, and the Void Wall is I think 1:45, and the Spike grenade is 1:30 something. So the Void Wall or the Spike, I think, are the best tactical grenades and work best for hunter gameplay. But at the end of the day, feel free to go with whatever grenade you feel most comfortable with. I went with the Void Wall this weekend, bearing in mind that this map Eternity has a cap point that if you don't kill everyone in time, you're going to have to go fight over a little circle. In this map here, it's in a little tunnel, and so whichever way you're going, you can kind of chuck the grenade and it's going to kind of cut them off or burn them out when they're not in your sight line. And the last void fragment that should always pretty much be on is Echo of Persistence, just to give us higher invis time. For our armor mods on our helmet, we are running a Taking Charge, a sidearm targeting mod, and a scout rifle targeting mod. If you can't afford to have all of this on and you need to ditch one, I would ditch the sidearm targeting personally. I run Charge Harvester. This is primarily for 6s, but I do sometimes use it inside of trials. I run Fastball as it's more of a consistent thing. I always try and run Fastball if I can get away with it. And I'm going to run a Scout Rifle Dexterity, as it just helps the swapping, particularly when you're getting pushed. It's nice to have that quick swap option available to you. And regardless if you're using the JADE RABBIT or another Scout Rifles never have the best handling. On our chest, we're going to run Radiant Light, casting our super. It's going to charge people around us. We use a tether. It's got a good cooldown, so you're going to help your teammates out. We're also going to be double stacking Unflinching Scout, Sidearm Holster. Don't really need this, but may as well spend the currency. And Powerful Friends. This is primarily to give us that plus 20 to a mobility stat. High Energy Firers, who doesn't want extra DPS? And double utility kickstart, so we can get our dodge back as soon as we can. In summation, guys, 150 Scout Rifles just got patched and are now even better. Why don't use the best one in the JADE RABBIT? And then we've also got a FOETRACER, which is now amazeballs, being that it's got better in-air accuracy. If you liked this video, please tap that like. If you're new and you really liked, please hit that sub. Comment down below if you've got any questions or just want to chat. And until next time, tippy tie my damies, what a tie.
He's the most tip